think the biggest obstacle in bridging the divide between north and south of Greater Manchester is that the need to demonstrate revenue delivery on a purely financial basis. If we are able to start looking at what we value more as a society, not just financial return, but improved levels of well-being, life quality, health outcomes, things that are hard to value but are so important to people, though that would start to create a stronger narrative for investing in places where it's not as obvious what the financial return might be.
The biggest obstacle in bridging that divide would be if the 10 boroughs stop doing what they're doing now, which is really strong partnership working and collaboration between each other. If we stop doing that, then Greater Manchester growth would suffer.
I'd like to see the current round of projects facilitated, and by that we should then see the changes to the reductions in inequality in those places as well. I think fundamentally it's the different in values between the north and the south, which means that it's a bigger viability gap in the northern boroughs, and until we accept that and have more grant funding which plugs some of those gaps, we're still going to end up with the same results.
I think transport plays a really key part of the divide because it drives so many investment decisions. It drives decisions that people make when they're buying houses. It drives investment decisions on where to invest, where to look for new residential. And some parts of Greater Manchester are really easy to get to. Stockport, case in point, 8 minutes on the train. If you want to go to Wigan, maybe I'm getting using the wrong rail connection, but it feels like it takes an age to get there. So I think it plays a fundamental role, and I've always had this belief in my mind that if you've got easy connections, easy routes to go from A to B for work, leisure, whatever it might be, that's what leads to people making investment and personal decisions in terms of where to spend their money.
Biggest takeaway was ensure that the leaders and within GMCA and the executive within GMCA are communicating exactly what they're trying to do. In the same way that Andy Burnham does it, but make sure that people hear it. Sometimes it's at each other, and I think you need to make sure the public are hearing what's going to happen and what has happened.
I think the biggest challenge is that the differences are so kind of long established. It's a lot to overcome, and over time they've just been positively reinforced by market action. So I think it's about trying to go against the wave, go against the orthodoxy, and go against the kind of natural inclination of those markets, and it's overcoming that and kind of creating these new exciting places. I'm quite closely involved with Atten Valley. I'd like to see a huge amount of that lovely allocation built out and lots of tens of thousands of new jobs created there. I think that is a position echoed across Greater Manchester, so I think I would like to see lots of people's priority projects kind of brought forward in 10 years.
I think in 10 years' time it would be amazing to have seen part or indeed all of the delivery of some of the allocations. I think that getting the strategic allocations in place through Places for Everyone has been a wonderful achievement. It took more than 10 years, so to get that commitment is one thing. So I think firstly to have seen activity beyond just getting planning permissions, actually see activity on the ground, completions, occupation would be wonderful. I think the second big goal for me would be the revitalisation of the town centres. There's so many underutilised assets in the town centres, the shopping centres, which are in many cases no longer fit for purpose, don't fulfil their role. I think seeing activity there in terms of rejuvenating them with a mix of uses, more appropriately scaled residential, greater connections to nearby train stations, I think that would be a real achievement.
I think that kind of broad base of support and alignment, I think there is far more that brings us together than there is that separates us, and that's true of both those of us who work in the north and live, as the case may for me, and in the south. I think there is a lot of support across sectors as well. I think we're pushing at an open door. I think it's just about how we align those interests as best we can to achieve those things that we've just talked about.